What's up, guys? Good morning. Let's get after it here today. Market is, of course, open, and it's time for us to get to work, baby. So let's do it. You are looking at a 2-minute chart. Top left of your screen is a 5-minute chart. Top right is that same 2-minute chart. We use both the 5 and the 2. Bottom of your screen is the New York session daily chart, and you can see we are in a range market still. So today, we're gonna put our head down and scalp. Took a couple of bigger swings yesterday. They were kind of like, market didn't go very far. And we're back to range trading because that's what the market's calling for. So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's get it done here today. Again, back to the 2-minute here. Good morning, guys. How we doing? Brandon, Blake, good morning. Chris, how we doing? Kane, Roy, Javaz, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Corey, good to see you, brother. Gaines, good morning. Ryan, how we doing? All right, we got a minute 13 out here from the close of this 2-minute bar. Let's see what we get. Sidonia, I bought my first prop account last night. Exciting. So you get that funded. Was that your first eval, Sidonia, or was that your activation for a funded? Oh, Callan-now, for those of you guys who don't know, was a winner of a Take Profit Trader account that we gave away here on stream. Sent him the account, he passed, and he just took a payout. That's so good to hear. Good work, Callan-now. Really, really good work. That's very exciting. Hey, Vin, good to have you in chat here. Chris B, how we doing? One of our regular Chris's. Okay, there's the rollover of that 2-minute. You can see inside close, there's nothing there. But, I mean, do I even really have to draw it? I mean, look here, right? Pretty clear. You can make the argument for a similar situation over here. You can make the argument for a flat top. But I'm going to remove the tops. And we're also going to get rid of the bottom because we know that that's there now, right? So we can clean it up. And what I'm really looking for here is I would like to see a strong bear bar closing near the low within reason of this. Okay, not down here, obviously, in which case I have to think, all right, maybe we're getting short. Currently, the 5-minute 20 EMA is at 392, so that would also be a thought there. But looking for a nice, strong bear bar closing near the low, and I will buy that for a quick little scalp. We're back to scalping here. Hey guys, good to have you. Wolf, good morning. How we doing? Venny, how we doing? Good morning. All right, we got 39 seconds left here on this 2-minute bar. Let's see if we get a nice close. No, sorry guys, the hat, it's not for sale, man. I'm just rocking and rolling here. All right, another inside bar there, on to the next tier. 2 minutes out. You know, Brandon, that's really interesting. I mean, I know it's a joke, but wouldn't it be really cool if we could have a pop-out window on screen? This would be a lot of work. a pop-out window on screen that shows your guys' positions in real time for like the top 3 people in the chat. You know how like the YouTube chat has the crowns now for the people who are the most active in the chat? And we could pop out your position if you happen to have one on screen in real time. That would be interesting. Though a lot of people might not like that. Lord of Fuse, good morning. Good to see you. All right, we're a minute 5 out. Let's see what we get as far as close. Two-way transparency. Yeah, that'd be cool, man. This is a 20 EMA here on this 2-minute chart, by the way. 35 seconds out from the rollover of this 2-minute bar. I'm not, you know, I feel like I say this every time. Maybe I should just change this to volume weighted average price at this point. But it's become almost a running joke. I don't really use the EMAs on the 2-minute. I wouldn't really use the volume weighted average price on the 2-minute either. I just have it there so I don't get dizzy looking at what we're looking at here. All right, another inside bar there. Kind of slow here. ATR is just above 10. These last few bars, though, I mean, we're looking at 5 ranges. 5.5, 6 on the range. Oh, by the way, we have a real big surprise that we got yesterday, well, last night. Remember how the 80% at Apex expired yesterday? I was just as surprised as all you were. Apex hit us with 90%. Now is the time, okay? This is the time to hit Apex. 80 is also fantastic, by the way. When it's 80%, I buy accounts without a second thought. When it's 90, I do it even faster. Keep in mind, it renews at 80%, but with Apex, I mean, come on, man. I basically never let it go to the next month. I try to pass them in pretty much an afternoon or not that long at least, because Apex you can pass in one day. That is with code BIG, 90% off, which is kind of crazy. And they're only doing that for 4 days, so hell of an opportunity to get scaling. All right, 35 seconds out. Come on, Bears. Give us a nice low close. And I'll look to bet against that little breakout. Keep things pretty tight here. It's a sizable bear bar, but that's okay. All right, let's see here. 5 seconds, Bears. Take it lower. That's not good enough for me. Big old wick. Next bar here. Got to hold off on that. As long as we can hold this low. If we start breaking this low, and especially this low, I start to think a little differently here. Little differently. Here, right now, by the way, here's the test of the 20 EMA on the 5-minute chart. There you go. There's the look at the 5-minute chart. And the 20 EMA is heavily watched over there, right? So we pay attention. We can expect usually a few buyers to at least try to step in along the 20 EMA. Are they going to hold it? You know, who knows? But a little bit of pressure is common in this region. By the way, that is an attempted break there at that wick we were just talking about. Really, you know, this one here. That'd be a triple wick break, and all of a sudden we're thinking a little bit differently. Plus, that 20 EMA needs to be a little bit more definitively broken for me to think about getting short. 60 seconds out on the 2-minute, and we're about 3 minutes out on the 5-minute for the bar rollover. Hey, Steven, good morning. Good to see you. All right, bulls wicking it back here. Let's see. Now again, I'm just scalping here, so if the bulls actually turn this into a reasonable bull bar. Yeah, they're not going to. Next bar. All right, minute 20 out here. Let's see what we get. Hey, Vin, how we doing? Tony, good to have you. All right. So we have a dual rollover coming here on the 2 and the 5. You know, you can see here we're about 27 seconds out from the rollover of both. Top left is the 5, top right is the 2 minute. I am executing off of the 2 minute chart here. I'll get a stop limit buy ready. Again, hey, we're just scalping here, so let's see if we can place this guy. I will. Boom, we got a fill. I'll suck this guy up here. Place him there. See if we can get a push back toward the top end of the range. That's really all I'm looking for here. Nothing complex. And there you go. Top left is the position window. Just a little scalp. See if it works for us. Now, of course, here, what's the other look, right? Because now I'm sitting long for a little scalp. 57 micros, by the way. I know this here, by the way, this gets confusing for people. It's not one. A lot of people think I'm trading one mini. No, I'm trading top left 57 micros. This is the leader account. So I sacrifice one funded Apex account and I trade one micro in it so that in my copy trader, I can ratio without thinking about it and making stupid little mistakes. For me, that's worth it. So this is the opposite, the opposing look, right? For me being long, you might have some bears step in and say, yeah, you know, this little ascending bull channel, that's going to turn into a little descending bear channel. You know, that's okay. That's okay. I'm just betting against the range breakout in general. Now, if we see this, we were just talking about this wick over here, right? If this breaks, you know, a point lower, 3 ticks-ish lower, just cut me and we'll move on. Even if it reverts back to the range after doing so, at that point, that's where my idea is like, okay, the bears have a little bit of a different look than maybe we were looking for, so we'll cut it there and move on. So let's just see here. Bears taking this a little bit lower. Let's see. Risk is pretty damn tight on this trade. 20 points, which is a couple $1,000, which is tight. Now that last bear bar, that's an inside close, right? So there's nothing I can do there. So obviously this is one of those trades where you let the stop do the work. On a lot of scalps, I'll be driving manually to the upside and to the downside. Here, I can't do too much manual driving because I'm making the stop do that work for me here. Right, we're below that tick, but once we're below that tick, we're 3.5 points above the stop. which is 1 point below this big tick that we were just talking about, or wick that we were just talking about. So this one's easy. We just let the stop do the work. We drive manually upside and accept the outcome, right? Chris! Chris Candy, what's up, brother? How we doing? Beej, you talk about data a lot. Can you give some advice on how you go about collecting a lot of good data efficiently? Yeah, so I had TraderView, who is the OG in trading data tracking, build us, meaning me, meaning Wrench Capital, like a trade tracking software for us. And then for all my one-on-one people, I put them in there and I have 24/7 access to their data, which is obviously, as you can imagine, extraordinarily helpful for people. And we look and they just import their data with a CSV file. It's super easy. You just export it from your broker, you put it in there, and it shows you obviously win rate for any time period, reward to risk ratio for any time period. Was there any black swan, like biggest loss compared to your average? Everything we need to know is in there. If you don't want to, go that route, obviously, like, you don't need to. You can buy a notebook for $1, buy a pen for $0.25, and do it all manually. That's a great way to go about it. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. I do look through historical charts, but when I'm talking data, most of the time what I mean is forward-tested data. I'm not really huge on back testing. Obviously, I've done it plenty of times, but like forward testing is real, so we forward test. And it actually shows you, okay, are the decisions you make, do they have edge? How long have they have edge? What's the sample size? Obviously, the longer you go and the bigger sample size you have, the more certain you can be that edge is real and not a statistical anomaly. So yeah, when I talk data, I'm talking trading data. And it's a living, breathing entity, by the way. Just because you get 3 weeks and you have a few percent worth of edge, it changes. Your win rate's gonna shift based on the market environment, right? Your average winner is gonna shift based on the market environment. Your reward to risk, the ratio is gonna shift, right? Based on the market environment. In range markets, it tends to fall, the reward to risk. So you gotta keep your finger on that pulse. It's crucial, man. I can't, like, imagine if Coca-Cola ran massive advertising campaigns and didn't try everything to understand the data behind that. Are they getting a return? How long until that flips to profitable? What's their lifetime value of a customer? Of course they're doing that. Of course they are. This is the same thing, but simpler. So there's no excuse to not do it. Eric, good morning. How we doing? Marshall, John, good to see you, brother. How we doing? Okay, now again, this is just a bet against this little range breakout here. Keeping my risk pretty tight. Now, what you could do, by the way, is you could move this stop, which I'm not going to do. But if you are aggressively trading the range and you're like, I really don't see breakouts happening, you could technically give this quite a bit more room. Okay, maybe you even add on strong bull bars while you're in the red. Okay, you can do that. It can make mathematical sense. Everyone goes, no, I've added to losers before and I lost. Yeah, because you didn't do it properly. You did it. You were adding to losers in a bear trend and moving your stop loss until you eventually just got rid of your stop loss and you're sitting there like pacing around your office. What am I gonna do? I've done it before too. We've all done it, right? As much as you hate to admit it, we have all been there at one point or another. It is not fun. It is emotionally draining. It is very much so not profitable, but that doesn't mean there aren't mathematically solid ways to go about doing the thing that has hurt people emotionally, which is why they're so against it. So, I get it. If you're newer, do I think you should be adding to losers? No, probably not, because it's going to really fuck with your emotions, and that's not a net positive. And you definitely shouldn't be doing so in a trend market, adding to losers, that is. But in a range market, hey, it can make sense. Now, we're looking at, this is a 2-minute chart right now here. Again, just scalping. Just scalping. This is not a swing. That's why we're looking pretty tight here. Hey, John, how we doing? Good to have you. Now again here, right? If you're just joining us, what's the look? I'm sitting long, right, for a scalp betting against... Hang on. Betting against this range breaking out. Because we know, range markets, breakout attempts can happen. They tend to not go very far. Okay, now again, it's entirely possible that we dip down, stop me out, it goes 5 more points, then reverts right back. That's fine. You have to manage risk somewhere. There's no magic spot. You have to put it somewhere that makes sense. For me, where does it make sense right now? Well, if we break beneath this wick and then also this wick, something's attempting to break out. Will it succeed? I don't want to stick around and find out. But most breakout attempts in a range market, meaning 80, 85%, are not going to go very far. Right? So we can bet against those. Now, what does not go very far mean? That's the nuance of it. That's where you have to just do your best. This is not... Trading's not a perfect game, man. Sometimes it's not so pretty. Hey, Jason, how we doing? Time to invest. Hey, big, how tall are you? I am 5'1". All right, Greg. Hey, I got your application for the elite level program, Market Mastery. I'll hit you back later on today. But reply to that first text, so I know that you're we got the right number for you. Now, one thing I'm looking at with this scalp here, right, is, hey, does this turn out to be a little bit of a flat top? Just keep an eye on it. Don't let it spook you too much. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My weekly goal, okay, so my daily goal is 5K lately. Now, in a range market, typically the daily goal gets pushed down a little bit. So right now my daily goal is $5,000, which means my weekly goal technically is 25,000. I don't think I'm gonna hit that this week, which kind of sucks. But we are finishing, healthily in the green for the week, which is what matters here. All right, driving manually out, by the way, in the green. Just want to see how this range kind of reacts as we get toward the high end of that. Just scalping, not swing trading here. Sometimes these scalps take a little bit of time here in a range market, though. It's all right. So watching this little potential flat top here. I'm not going to make any, emotional off-the-cuff decisions. But just keeping an eye on that. ATR is dipping below 10 now, so we got to keep that in mind. That last bar had a range of 4.5 points, which is pretty low. Yes, sir, Vin, we got it. I have that. Yeah, Vin, could you imagine how many Chris's we would have in the chat if we got to the 1 million? We'd have about 500 Chris's in chat. All right, let's see here. All right, Wolf, hey, enjoy the weekend. Have a good one. All right, bulls, come on now. Let's push this back to the higher end of the range. Still got to keep an eye out for this kind of thing, right? I mean, you know, you could say, oh, it's broken. Yeah, got to keep an eye on it still. You draw that a number of different ways. Decent little push. Come on now, bulls. All right, pull it at 8 points as we come in to the top end of that range. Small little trades here. Again, it's a range. You got to do what we can do. We start making too big of asks. Which, you know, sometimes I find myself, I'll take a bigger bet and time will go on and it's like, in kind of a corner here now because now the ask I'm making, the volatility is slowed. You know, it happens. It happens, man. It's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to me again. That's part of the game. We all listen, make the best decision you can in the moment and move on. Give yourself some grace, dude. I mean, this is hard and I don't mean give yourself some grace like, oh, like it's okay, you don't have to make money. No, we're here to make millions of fucking dollars. As much money as humanly possible because life is disgustingly expensive. It's disgustingly expensive. You have to make way more money than you think to even be comfortable. So let's come in the market and rob the fucking bank. But have some grace if you make 1 or 2 or 3 bad decisions because other people aren't even here doing this because it's so hard. Right? You're doing one of the hardest things, I think, on the planet, which is to support yourself by coming in and competing on the greatest playing field, at least financially, on the planet. And you're winning. Okay? So if you fucking screw up once or twice, it's okay. James, good morning. How we doing? What's up, Stone? All right, 26 seconds out here from the close of this 2-minute bar. Let's see what we get. No, I hate to be the Monday morning quarterback, but you guys kind of see what, you know, I took profit right about up here, you know, as we come into that kind of flat, and it was a slow mover. I don't really want to test that, right? I mean, you got to be careful with the ask that you're making. ATR right now is at about 9. I mean, as cliche as it sounds, you know, we got to trade the market we're in, not the one that we want. Jim, good morning. You'll get there, Wirt. Just keep working at it. You outlast everybody, man. It would be unreasonable that you don't find some success. Everybody quits. Just don't, and you already have an edge in this world. All right, 42 seconds out. if the bulls can push this up through that high. What's up, Boring Trader? How we doing? Randy, good morning. All right, 13 seconds out. Interesting here. I want to watch this next bar. A bit of a wick back. You can see the bears are stepping in like, yeah, I don't know about that. Range market. So let's watch this next bar. Minute 53 out. Let's see how this one closes here. It's the way to do it, baby. It's not always fun or entertaining or dopamine rich to follow the plan, man, but it's necessary. All right, 38 seconds out from the close here of this 2-minute bar. You can see we're getting a lot of back and forth action. When we see volatility increasing like this, tight little range, 6 minutes of little dojis. Little increase, little increase, little increase, but it's back and forth. These can be kind of tough because it's not a range so much like this where it's definitive and it's multiple bar legs. It's just up, down, right? So this gets a little tough. So I'd prefer, honestly, to see a nice, strong bull push, which would be nice. Take out that high, and then maybe we can get a pullback, reestablish that range in just a more volatile fashion. That would be helpful. One trade in so far on the day, one winner. Looking for number 2 here. All right, we'll take that as well. Let's just start pushing these boundaries a little bit. Okay, we got the rollover of this 2-minute bar here coming in about 10 seconds here. Kind of see what I mean. It's a little indecisive as far as, you know, the back and forth here, but volatility seems to be at least before the last, or I guess 2 bars ago, it's certainly increasing a little bit compared to lately, which is good. ATR is still sitting about 9 though. There we go. All right. Right around where my cursor is, that is the current high of day. Making a test of that right now. Let's see here. There's likely some stops up there, so if the bulls push it through, you might see an extra maybe 5 points of rocket fuel. You know, you would think maybe 3 to 5 points kind of as a minimum. And once that breaks, then we have something maybe we can work with, depending on how the next bar closes. You know, what I'd be interested in doing is if I could get a better entry, meaning a relatively strong bear bar closing near the low, maybe here would be great. Nothing to do with the EMA, by the way. More so just looking at this really obvious self-fulfilling prophecy trend line that is more of a range than an exact, you know, point. But if we can get that, that would give me a better entry, and then I'd be willing to bet on this little breakout, which would give us, you know, a bigger point trade. There you go. See, tops through. What did that give us? 5 points, almost to the tick. When the bears step in, they say range market, right? I mean, the issue with betting on that is you have to kind of guess how much rocket fuel you're going to get, because if you put it a point too high, the bears are going to step in, take it on back, and then you're waiting to see, okay, well, can we take that out again? Because it is a range market. So trends actually forming, like we kind of saw. Well, it must have been, was it yesterday? It might have been 2 days ago. We saw that kind of bull trend, intraday trend form and actually get pretty damn strong. Might have been yesterday, I forget. That doesn't happen very often. That happens maybe 10, 15 at the most % of the time in a market like this on these attempts. So if I'm gonna take that bet on the breakout, I'd prefer to have a lower average so I can maybe set the take profit at 3 points and still get plenty to make the math work. All right, minute 23 out here from the rollover of this 2-minute bar. Let's see. All right, 13 seconds here. Looks like we may be closing in a doji. But we always kind of got to be ready. You can see big adjustments in the last few seconds. In this market, less so, because volatility is pretty low. All right. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Don't go anywhere. Real quick. All right, we are back. And we might just have a setup here. Let's see if the bulls can close this nice and strong near the high. Let's see here. Again, I want to see, we got 18 seconds. I want to see a nice strong bull bar closing up here. Ideally, honestly, above this wick. I don't think we're going to get that, are we here? Bear's wicking this baby right back down. All right, inside close there as well to the downside. So big wicky doji, nothing there. Next bar, minute 50 out. All right, minute 5 out here, let's see. You can see here every time, actually this is really interesting here. Let's look at the 5 minute. I mean, clearly maintaining a little bit of a soft bull channel, right? More or less. However, if we start breaking like this wick especially, this wick, we start looking, okay, well, clearly maybe this is going to turn into now the bear variation of the same channel. Yesterday, now every event is a new event, but things rhyme. Again, markets have inertia, they're resistant to change. You guys know that drill. So yesterday, we saw a break of that, and I shorted it. And I believe that was a trade I got stopped out on as it reverted back up into the range. So I'm thinking about that again here, and I am more so just looking to bet on these little ranges, betting against the breakouts occurring. Now, if we catch one, totally cool, we'll get stopped out and we'll move on. But we have a new 2-minute bar here. This is a 5-minute chart you're looking at now. We're back to a 2-minute now. And we're watching. By the way, we're kind of stalling out of the 20 EMA on the 5, which is currently at 403. So the 20 EMA on the 5-minute chart's right around here. Which again is always going to be a range. It's never an exact point or tick. $60 seconds out here. Okay, now this I think we could use this as a learning experience, right? I mean, this can be tough. It hasn't happened yet, but had we, like, if right now we got a big bear bar flush down below this wick and closed at like 399. Really hard to short that because we know how brutal of a range this is. If you force me to do anything in that scenario, I would buy the rollover. I would buy the close of that strong bear bar. But it's tough, right? Because look at how many consecutive bear bars we have. They're clearly in control. And even though we know, hey, probably, meaning a high percentage of the time, it's going to revert back into the channel at least somewhat. but when? Right, how far does it go? So then how do you manage risk? Well, you just have to do the best you can. So there we go. We finally got a break in the pattern. Small bull bar, but a bull bar nonetheless. Now let's see here. We're about a minute and 30 seconds out from the close of this 2-minute bar. If we get a nice strong bull bar closing near the high, even if it's right at the 20 EMA on the 2, I don't care. I'll just put a stop limit. Well, I might just buy with a limit, depending on how close to this wick here we are. Nice, 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 nice. Good. Minute 13 seconds out. Let's see how we close here. These bears. Come on, bulls. Let's give us something to work with here. Nice strong close up here. And I think I might use a stop limit entry in that case, because there's plenty of room in the range. We got to see that close, man. Let's get that. Ten seconds. Place that. That can be a little tough to get that placed. Yeah, that's the right spot. Give it 10 more seconds here. See if we get a fill, otherwise we got to pull it. It's a stop limit buy order, by the way. There we are. We're filled. I will suck my risk up. I'm going to place it at that tick to start. I'll take that in, and we will drive manually from here. Nice, nice push. Quickly in the money. That's what you like to see. Now, ATR is not high. ATR is in the 7s, okay? So we got to be careful with what kind of ask we're making out of the market here. Quickly in the money. Bears trying to suck it back here. It's all right. See if the bulls can get some better follow through here. Again, protective orders are out. Protective stop is out. Protective take profit limit order out. Those are primarily for news events here. Decent little push. Just trying to kind of get about 1 ATR in the money. Can't make some big tremendous ask, right? Volatility is pretty damn low. Boom. 1 ATR, take 7 points, move on. All right, next bar. Minute 30 out from the close. 60 seconds out. Bears trying to wick this back here. We still have 4 minutes left on the 5-minute bar. So paying attention mostly to the 2-minute right now. And backfilling this big range. Not looking for big breakout bets. Even if we got a nice strong bull bar closing near the high, you know, in a trend market, that'd be a hell of a long setup. Can't take that buy. Can't take that buy. Just because we'd be pushing the top end of the range, which, you know, it's kind of an ascending range, so maybe you get a little extra, fine. But what are the probabilities you get a whole shitload of follow through? They're not great. Skiba, snatch 10 of the insane Apex 90% off discounts. Well, I hope we used code BIG to get those. One pass, good work. 9 at 2,100 bucks in profit, trading them one at a time to pass. Let's take August, huge. Damn straight, Skiba, do it. I don't think I know how to pronounce her name. Swiffer? With price action, so here, let me just explain briefly. Yeah, it's a term. But price action trading as a strategy, it's not, listen guys, it's not like one of these branded strategies, like we could start calling it, you know, with the wrench style. Like, no. It is a looking at the source, okay? We're not looking at fucking indicators that are built off of the source. We're not trying to crack the code. We're not throwing 18 indicators on our chart. Oh, the clouds, man. I have these clouds on my chart that tell me when to buy. We're looking at the action. We're looking at what price is doing. We're looking at the relationship between buyers and sellers, and we're looking at patterns. And then what we do is we take those patterns and that relationship and apply it to the market context. So then we say something like, all right, well, if the bulls continue this higher and they get a nice, strong, cocky bull bar outside of the high end of the range in a brutal range market, the bulls are nice and cocky. I want to bet against them. I don't think they're going to break it out and take it very far. So I'll bet against them. And in a trend market, I would buy that close, right? Not this one, but the one in my example. In a range market, I do the opposite. I sell that close. Regular strategies that somebody teaches you and sells you a 25-minute course or even a 4-hour course explaining this is what you do every time in this exact scenario. It's not going to work because market environments shift. It might work in a trend market. I'm not going to take that away. It might work in a trend market. It might work in a range market, but it will not work in both. And you have to be able to make money in both, especially in a range market, because range markets are going to be what you're in maybe 80% of the time. Chris, well, I was down 800 bucks, took the same trade you did. Now I'm up $5, which is, hey, man, break even's better than red. All right, new 2-minute bar here. Slight little inside close bear bar to break that 5 bull bar streak, but it's small. It's an inside close. So on to the next here. Awesome. Good work. That right there, that's called progress. Good job. Good work, Sidonia. All right. Minute 10 out here from the close of this 2-minute bar. Let's see what we get. We're trading MNQ right now, the micro Nasdaq futures contracts. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm copy trading across a bunch of different accounts. Lately, the position size just happens to be 57 micros in total. That'll shift. You might see me trading 30. You might see me trading 100. It's different. But lately, it's been around 50-ish. All right, not uncommon, by the way. You get a tight little push, like this bull push we just saw, right into a sideways kind of indecisive trading range. See that a lot. That's another reason why. Let's pretend for a second that this bull bar closed above this wick high. Again, in a trend market, that'd be a buy for me. The problem is, if you get long, it's pretty likely, at least more so than in a trend market, because we're in a range market, it's more likely that, hey, maybe you end up long at the top end of a sideways trading range, which is obviously not a great scenario. It's going to happen to you. But that's why I think it's important to just, when we're in a range, just stay as dumb as you can. When we're in an intraday range, in a range market on the daily chart, right? Bottom of your screen right there. When you have both range intraday, which I would call this intraday a range, by the way. I would not call this a bull trend. It's such a soft bull trend. It's really more of a range with a slight bullish bias right now, which can obviously change. But on the daily, we're in a range market, okay? So really important to try to just keep your head down and trade the range, betting against breakouts. Now, obviously sometimes you're going to catch a breakout, which you got to have a stop order in place. Don't just trade naked. I guess if you're experienced, you can and cut it manually, but I think most people should have a protective stop order in place. You guys see, I usually do. All right, Jeff, hit that 90%, man. 90% off at Apex right now. Renews at 80%, but that's a month down the road. Most people don't hold these for a month plus because you can pass them in one day. So most people try to do that. But 90% off at Apex right now if you use code BIG, B-I-G, baby. All right, 10 seconds out here. We're getting a reasonable little downside push. Kind of a wick back. Gotta hold off next bar. Yes, sir, at Apex, there is an activation fee. Always at Apex, there's an activation fee. Take Profit Trader, by the way, is the one with no activation fee. So Take Profit Trader is currently 40% off, but you don't have to pay an activation fee if you use code BIG. Same code at Take Profit and Apex. Yeah, you know, Jeff, you said you're buying 10 accounts at Apex, 10 evals. For my one-on-one coaching, I literally, show me another motherfucker in the industry who does this. I bet on both of us so much that if you do not get funded in 90 days, I literally do not make you pay. I give you all of your money back. Show me another one with the balls to make that claim. You do not pay. You understand? So there you go. Now, by the way, just for clarity, guys, the one-on-one coaching is different from market mastery. Okay, market mastery is like elite top level. It's also, you know, quite a bit more expensive. The one-on-one coaching, though, I will treat you the exact same as a market mastery student. We just don't do the bi-weekly video calls. That's the difference. But I guarantee, that guarantee is on the one-on-one coaching packages that I just linked to. Which, by the way, I'm dead serious about. If you do not get funded in 90 days at the most, I give you your money back. All of it. That's how much I believe that we're gonna get you there. So I got skin in the game, baby. Show me another person who's doing that. All right, 40 seconds out here from the close of this 2-minute bar. Yeah. Yeah, chat, man, this is a 16-ounce mug right here. All right, we got 7 seconds out here. Let's see if we get another inside close. Looks like it. Here's the rollover. Inside bar. Nothing we can do there. On to the next. 2 minutes out. All right, minute 10 seconds out. What's up, Plop? How we doing? What's up, Plippity Plop? All right, 38 seconds out here. Let's see what we get. Swiffer, don't y'all get bored staring at charts? No, this is what we're doing for the next 50 years, brother. Plus. Every day. You want to be a trader? This is the life. Shit, there's a move. Let's go. All right, 2 minutes out. Minute 50 out from the close of this 2-minute bar. Okay, this is that scenario that we just talked about. If you get a hard bull push in a soft bull channel, but it's a channel, it's a range, right? This is one of those scenarios that is a little tough to make a decision because I cannot get long because we're in a range. But I would prefer to get long near the low end of a soft bull channel rather than shorting the high end. However, if I had to make a decision here in 15 seconds, if we saw a close near the high of this bar, I would have to short it. It's not my favorite trade. I'm gonna be straight up. This is not my favorite trade, but that's what I would have to do. Now, with the strength of these two bull bars, I gotta tell you, since I don't have to make a decision right now, I'm gonna give this one more bar and see what happens here. If we get a nice small bear bar closing near the low, I'll put a stop limit sellout, look to get filled short. But again, not my favorite trade here to short this rollover after two really strong bars, because you know what happens here? When you're in the range, the probability of a breakout attempt occurring and succeeding is maybe about 10 to 15%. Succeeding, that is, the breakout succeeding. But when you see this, that starts to creep up, which messes with our edge a little bit. These are the little nuances you pick up with screen time. Yeah, I mean, see, you're going to get a little bit of confidence there. Now, if this was just a single bull bar, I'd be more inclined to short it. But here we have, 4 minutes of strong bull activity. Need more information there. Yep, this 2 minute chart here. First time in this channel, wish I found you earlier this year. Thank you, love the simplicity of your way of trading. Well, good to have you. Glad to have you. Hope to see you become a regular in the chat. We have a whole bunch of people who are here every single day. And I love every one of them. Hope to see you become one of them. Yeah, Chuck, I agree, man. See, you know, when you get cocky bulls like this, you know, we can be pretty sure that their breakout isn't going to go that far, but it's hard to step in front of that before we get a little bit more information, a little bit more confirmation, I'll say, when we're in a soft bull channel. Now, I'm a little quicker to buy 2 consecutive bear bars closing near the low because we're in a soft bull channel. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense for you guys. Christy, hello, I'm new. Really enjoying your channel. I see join. Yeah, the join is just the YouTube join. That's not what I'm talking about. I do one-on-one coaching packages, which includes the 90-day, you know, funded in 90 days or you do not pay guarantee, which I'm dead serious about, by the way. And then I have, of course, my elite level program, which you need to apply to. We'll talk over text and see if it's a fit, which is, again, the elite level market mastery. 2 different things, by the way, quite similar. But the market mastery students, I get on video call with you every other week. But the one-on-one there that I just linked, that is the one that has the guarantee. All right, Jeremy, I got you, brother. I'll talk to you when I get off. See that big bull bar there? Bull's getting a little cocky. Big, strong bull bar, man. Again, hey, you know, in a trend market, oh, I'd be all over this. It's a range market. It's a range market. I can't be all over this thing yet, at least to the long side, and I definitely don't want to step ahead and try to time the top. Even though it is a range market, that's a lot of strength to step in front of. Again, little nuanced things that we pick up on, right? Well, good to have you. Hope to see you in the chat daily. Really, good to have you. Roy, no, I don't even know what Fusion Deal is. No, those are all scammers. Discord is rampant, man. They're trying to fix, well, I don't know if they're trying to fix it, but I hope they're trying to fix it. Everybody who posts content on the internet and has 3 people who give a shit about what they post, has people on Discord pretending to be them trying to scam you out of your money. I will never message you first on Discord. I will not. Not because I don't like you, I just won't do that. So if you get a message from a Wrench Capital on Discord, it is not me. Do not give them money, and if you stop giving them money, they will stop trying. And it's always some stupid shit that you guys know I wouldn't do. A fusion deal, crypto coins, come on, man. Dollar bill! Nico, why do you not use grid lines? That's cleaner. I hate sloppy charts. Plus, I don't really see a reason. I think it just adds complexity to the chart for no reason. I can see price, I can see time. I don't feel like I need grid lines. At least here on NinjaTrader. All right, guys. Well, I hate to cut it. We took 2 trades, 2 scalps, 2 winners here today. Nice little green day. But I have a really tight schedule today, so I gotta cut it, man. I don't want to. I'd love to sit here and hang out with you guys, but I gotta cut it. I'm already pushing it here. So, hey, Apex is 90% off. This is the best it gets, and you can pass in 1 day when you use code BIG. Now, to be transparent, when they renew, it renews at 80, but it renews a month down the line, and you can pass in 1 day, so you hopefully won't even have to pay that 80% off renewal. But up front, 90% off single day pass with code BIG. Okay, and of course, Take Profit Trader is still running the 40% off. You can see it on screen with no activation fee, which is also a really big deal. You guys, I don't think you realize this, but at Take Profit and Apex right now, we have the 2 best deals I have ever seen from either of these companies running at the same time. So it's time to hit it. Of course, use code BIG. Absolute shameless plug. Use that code. All right, guys. All right, guys. I'll see you on Monday. Hey, again, absolutely ridiculous, bold guarantee. If you do not get funded in 90 days, you do not pay. If you sign up for a one-on-one coaching package with me, hope to see you in my phone shortly, and I will catch you guys Monday. If you have not done so already, subscribe to the channel. I am live scalping every single day. Enjoy your weekend. Do your job this weekend. Your job this weekend is not to sit and say, fuck, I gotta trade, man. I gotta trade. I'm not making money. Your job is to rest up. The market's closed, whether we like it or not. I know we'd like it to be open 24/7, but it's not. Okay, so do your job, rest up, enjoy the weekend, and be fresh here early, ready to rock on Monday. All right, guys. Have a good weekend. See you in a couple of days.